Time. E-hailing drivers across the country are planning to strike from Tuesday, and they're aiming to shut down major routes and disrupt services for 3 days. The drivers are calling on government to regulate the industry. They say they need help to curb exploitation by their global app partners, and among them are Uber and Bolt. I'm now joined by Mr. Nkosinathi Zwane from Unity in Diversity E-Hailing Association to share more on the drivers' dissatisfaction. Mr. Zwane, thank you for your time and good morning to you. Happy Human Rights Day to you too as well. Speaking of, rights, you are dissatisfied because you're not getting any satisfaction from your rights as partner e-hailing drivers from your partner company, be it, Bolt, be it Uber, the works. What is happening? What's the reality of the e-hailing driver in South Africa?
Hi, good morning to you too, and happy Human Rights Day. Yeah, the reality is that we are in an abusive relationship with these app companies. They just do as they please when it comes to us. They call us partners, but in reality, we do not understand the kind of relationship that we have with them. Every decision they take, from taking prices down, to downgrading our cars, to drivers being blocked for minor offenses, they do not consult. There are no processes. They just do as they please. And the government, our government, has kept silent for far too long. After all, they themselves, the government, have announced that these companies have close to 60,000 cars on the road. But there's no regulation. There's no intervention. There is nothing that the government is doing. And that is why we will be embarking on a national shutdown of e-hailing apps from tomorrow up until Thursday.
We'll get into the protest in just a moment. I want to understand, when you sign up for this e-hailing service as a partner, what's the agreement between yourselves and your partner company? I mean, is there a level of agreement? Is there a conversation, or is it more of a passive agreement where you do as they say, or is there some sort of an engagement where you understand exactly what you are getting yourself into as a driver?
It's a passive agreement because there's no explanation of the relationship, including when you are in the system. You can just wake up in the morning and you find a message in your app that says you must accept the terms and conditions. If you don't accept them, you can't work that day. So you are forced to just click on the phone and accept those terms and conditions. You don't even know what it is that you are accepting, but you have just been hijacked while you are trying to start to work. So there's no agreement that we have with this company. It's a forced relationship, but because we already have investments, we bought cars put into this industry, we are stuck into this abusive relationship with them, and that's why we're asking for the government to intervene. Right,
and you're saying it's exploitative, hence you want them to intervene at this point. So through these protests that you're conducting, I understand from tomorrow, what are some of your demands that you're tabling to government?
Firstly, we are asking the minister and the MEC to, this one is on the mediate. We want them to exercise their executive powers. The NLTA, 2009 Section 66, gives them powers to regulate our prices, because in terms of us, the permits that we have, they fall under the Transport Department. So they do have powers to regulate our prices, but they just don't want to do anything that has to do with this app. So we are simply forcing them to do their job. We're asking the MECs of this country to intervene into our problems. We're asking the president also to sign the bill, the amendment bill, which will give us more legal hand when it comes to these companies, to also sign that NLTA amended bill.
But Mr. Zwane, this is not the first time that you have at least attempted to engage with government. This is not the first time I'm hearing about, concerns derived from e-hailing drivers, their dissatisfaction with their app partners, trying to get, a platform with their MEC or even the Minister of Transport. In your previous engagements with government, how have they responded to some of your concerns?
Yes, that's true. We've been trying. We've been trying and we've been persistent. Unfortunately, the minister is just acting as if the e-hailing space does not exist. He's just acting as if we do not exist. It does not matter whether we send memorandums to him, he does not respond. However, MEC Jacob Mamabulo tried to intervene, but he only started the process of mediation. That process, they only called us for an induction. Since from then, which was last year on March, they have not called us back again to that process. And he's been silent. The app companies are refusing to come to mediation, and he's silent. He's not willing to do anything. And we are surprised that today he wants to take steps to stop us from protesting, while we gave him full 12 months to intervene, and he's not doing anything about our matters. So we are trying on our side to interact with them, but we really don't understand what is happening to our government. One would have to understand, if we end up reaching a certain level of understanding, that we feel that is involved in these matters of ours, because it can't be that our government can just keep silent while these app companies. Look now, women are complaining. There's a cry out from women that there tends to be a new trend from Bolt drivers that they are abusive, and
they're
some are hijacking, some are even assaulted and being raped. And as drivers, we want to explain that perspective, to say a lot of drivers that are in the platform, they are both on Uber and Bolt. But you don't find such things on Uber, you only find it on Bolt. That is because Bolt, Garrett Taylor, has intentionally weakened their security measures both on the driver side and on the client side. And they are intentionally doing that to compete, which means they are intentionally putting the lives of South Africans at risk, including drivers. Drivers are dying on Bolt. We are bearing a lot of drivers on the Bolt platform, and no one is willing to intervene. And we're very, but we understand, because people don't understand our perspective. But we believe that this anger should be directed to the people who control the platform, those who are able to check if you have previous cases, who are able to vet.
Before I let you go, in the few seconds I have left you, I literally have 10 seconds with you. Briefly, please, this national strike taking place, what exactly is about to be expected? Because I'm sure for those depending on e-hailing services need to be aware that you might not be available to give them a service as from tomorrow.
From tomorrow, there won't be services. E-hailing services won't be there from tomorrow. From midnight tonight, there won't be services. We'll be having a convoy that is going to the different departments. Ours is a peaceful march, whereby we are going to hand over the memorandum. There is no violence, nothing whatsoever. Peaceful march.
All right, we'll leave it then. I appreciate you speaking to me this morning. Nkosinathi Zwane from the Unity in Diversity E-Hailing Association. We do understand